Hi, I'm back. I want to talk about something that I originally said in my first video I was not going to cover, just the different types of bipolar. I want to explain this thing that I'm going to be talking about now. This disorder is bipolar 2. The first one I talked about with the extreme moods, the extreme spending habits, the reckless sex, the reckless driving, the really high highs and low lows, to extremes. That's bipolar 1. Bipolar 2 is a little bit different. Bipolar 2, has a manic behavior, but it's called hypomanic because it's not as manic. It's not as dramatic and intense and hyper. Hypomanic episode is a distinct period of elevated type of irritable mood or other manic behaviors, but the behavior of the person on the job or even sometimes in the family is not majorly affected by this type of thing. Whereas in bipolar 1, you can definitely tell the family is in an upheaval. People are not sure what's going to happen next. There's a lot of, mystery behind it. A lot of waiting for the other shoe to drop, I guess you could say. So a hypomanic episode, as I said, does not greatly influence a person on the job or in their everyday life like a bipolar 1 real full-blown manic episode would be. Also, hypomanic episodes do not usually require hospitalization. So that's the difference between hypomania and mania. Mania is extreme. Hypomania is hyper, but not quite so much, and not resulting in such negative consequences. People that have a hypomanic episode might not see it as pathological, although people can notice the behavior. It's just because it's a hypomanic episode doesn't mean that it doesn't cause any problems. It just doesn't cause extreme problems. For the person that has this bipolar 2 episode, there's feelings of extreme happiness and creativity during the hypomanic mode. For me, I've told you that I have cyclothymia, which is another form of bipolar disorder, but it's milder. I get super creative, yes, but more so I get super touchy towards the end of the month. Things bother me more than in the beginning of the month. And I can usually tell by about the 14th onward that I'm going into the hypomanic mode. Let's see here. There's also like a driving energy force behind that, which is why I get most of my homework done towards the end of the month, because I know that that's a good time to work on those really tough projects. The only drawback of that is I don't always have full brain capacity because my mind kind of races a little bit. So it's not real easy to focus on those really intense topics that I have to study for school. So it's kind of a mixed bag of deal there. It can be a positive thing. Let's see. I'm going to continue on. I'm skipping over some of the stuff that I've studied. You don't really need all the deep details, or we could be here forever. The next one. They talk about cyclothymic disorder. That's what I have. I like to say that's what I battle, because I don't like saying I have it. It doesn't have me and I don't have it, but I do battle with it. And I usually win. Anyways, cyclothymic disorder. They have it listed here as a chronic state of mood disturbance, most noticeable as a change in energy level. True. In cyclothymic disorder, hypomania behavior and a depressive behavior continue over a 2-year period, but neither one fits the criteria of the DSM-IV-TR for manic episode or depressive episode. Hence, we're called cyclothymic because we're on a weird kind of cycle. The episodes often have a seasonal pattern, which I'm starting to think that people that have seasonal affective disorder may be cyclothymic too. I think there's kind of a comorbid tie-in going on there. Very similar type of symptoms in a way, except that sometimes I think that the lighting has something to do with the seasonal affective disorder, whereas cyclothymia happens regardless of what lighting you're in, from what I've seen. Okay, It says here that cyclothymia patterns are more common in spring or fall, although the first episode is often associated with a stressful situation, and then later episodes do not seem to be related to a stress level. I agree with that too. It really doesn't matter how much stress I'm under. I go through these cycles regardless, and it's very noticeable. Thankfully, if I catch it, I don't make rash decisions at the wrong time of the month, so I'm not finding myself picking up the pieces afterward, which is a good thing. You gotta be careful if you have these disorders, especially if you're not on medicine. Well, even if you're on medicine. Okay. It says some cases the hypomania and depressive symptoms alternate, whereas in other cases one of these moods is predominant and the other appears less often. That's true, because I can't say every single month is exactly the same for me, but pretty much I can tell you the beginning of the month I'm very mellow, the end of the month I talk very fast, and I can hear myself doing it. I can't stop myself necessarily, but I can tell it's happening. So if I think about it really hard, I can slow down my mind and slow down my mouth, so I'm making more sense, if that makes sense. Okay, stay tuned.